Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to New Vision International School online lessons. This is Teacher V speaking. I will be teaching you the writing lessons. Please prepare the following materials needed. First is your readers and writers booklet, your pencil and eraser, and of course, your English copybook. Are these materials ready? Good job. Now, let's have a review of our previous lesson. So can you still remember? Good. So our previous lesson was about realistic story. Can you tell me what is a realistic story? Good. A realistic story is a made-up story that could happen in real life. So a realistic story is from the word real. That means it is really happening in our life. So what are the key features of a realistic story? First is characters, events, and settings seem real. Again, characters, events, and setting or place are real. Number two, characters do things that really can happen. Now, what are the writer's checklist or what are your guide in writing a realistic story? First, write a story with events that could really happen. Next is you have to make sure that your story has a beginning, middle, and an end. And the last one is make sure any question ends with a question mark. So don't forget these checklists or guides in writing a realistic story. All good? Excellent. So now our lesson for today is all about brief composition. So from the word composition, so you're going to write your own composition on this lesson. Are you ready? So what are our objectives? So at the end of this lesson, students should be able to identify the key features of a composition. Next is to follow the writer's guide of composition. And letter C is to write a composition about an animal. All right, are you ready? Now let's talk about composition. What is a composition? So a composition tells about real things. All right? Real things or events. So it is really, again, happening in real life. So what are the key features of a brief description or composition rather? First, it tells about real people and things. And number two is it tells about just one topic. Okay, let's talk about number one. It tells about real people or things. Remember that a brief composition is about real things, real people. All right, so it is really happening in your life and my life, and of course other people's life. Not just people. It can also be things. It can also be animals. Okay? Number two is it tells about one topic. Just focus in one topic. Like for example, you want to write a composition about a bird. So just focus in birds. Don't focus in other things or other animals. Or you want to write a composition about your own experiences. So just focus in yourself. Don't focus in other people. Okay? Good job. Now, what are the writer's checklist or what are your guides in writing a composition? First, it tells about real wild animals. You can write about this, a real wild animals. Make sure each sentence tells one idea. Again, make sure each sentence tells one idea. So if you're talking about animals, then just talk about animal. What particular animal? Animal. So you have to be specific of what animal do you like to write. Okay? Next, write an exclamatory sentence at the end and say the sentence with strong feeling. So remember that in brief composition, it you have to write the correct punctuation mark. So if um, has a strong feeling, so you have to use the exclamatory point. All good? So these are the writer's guide. Now, I have here an example of a brief composition. Okay, so the title of this composition is about watching birds. So I am talking about birds. So my focus is just on bird. Okay? All right, let's start. Watching birds. Mom and I see birds in the trees. They are not pets. We learn about birds. Birds eat berries. They live in nest. Birds eat a lot. So, in this composition, it talks about birds in a tree. So, it also talks about birds are not pets. It can be also pet because there are birds that can be a pet. They are just the small birds. All right. So, you cannot make pet to an eagle because it's too big. It's so dangerous, right? So, again, they are not pets. We learn about birds as well. So, what are the facts and attributes of birds? So, it talks about birds still. Birds eat berries. So, what? How the birds eat, or what are the birds' food? Birds can eat berries. It states here that birds can eat berries, and they also live in the nest, right? And where can you find the nest? Of course, at the tree. So birds eat lots. So this is actually the observation of the author. Understood? Now, as you can see, it focuses on the sentence. The sentence should focus on the topic. Again, the sentence or these sentences should focus on the topic, which is all about birds. Next one is the genre rather of this composition is a real bird, right? Because a composition, it tells about real things, real animals, real people. So as you can see, look at the arrow. Birds eat a lot. So how it starts the sentence and how it ends the sentence. As you can see, it starts with a capital letter and it ends with an exclamation mark. Therefore, this is an exclamatory sentence. Yeah? So it shows that the writer is surprised. Yeah, I'm so sorry for that because I need to charge my phone. Okay, so again, this exclamatory sentence shows that the writer is surprised. Why? Because we use the exclamation point, which is this one. Understood? So, this is how you write a composition about real things. All good? So thank you so much for listening. If you really understand this lesson, okay. So I have to say goodbye now. And thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week for another lesson. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.